It always is a real pleasure going back to Kobo e-readers after using Android-based e-readers like the Onyx Boox Palma and the Bigme B751c. It's always a pleasure going back to real-made e-readers like Kobo e-readers. The reason why is that the only thing you can do on a Kobo e-reader is reading books. Nothing else, and they are also made for that, so you can have everything in the UI, everything in the construction, the build, and everything, buttons and everything is made for reading ebooks. Like for example, the automatic switching of the side you want to read at and having the buttons here and switching back to that side and having the buttons here works perfectly fine on a Kobo e-reader, but not on Android-based e-readers. There is always some bugs and something that doesn't work so good when doing that on an Android-based e-reader. And especially if you are reading books with other apps than are made for e-ink, for example Storytel, Nextory, or Bookbeat, for example, that I use a lot for book streaming of ebooks. These apps are made for using on smartphones only, and that way they don't work as good when doing the auto rotation of the screen, and the buttons doesn't work so good in these apps. The same with Onyx Boox Palma. Sometimes apps works with the buttons on the side to switch pages, sometimes they don't. So going back to normal Kobo e-reader is every time a real joy. And it doesn't matter if I use KOReader on these Android-based e-readers or not. I have KOReader installed on my Kobo-based e-readers down here. I can do the same on these ones. So, for example, if I start that book, I can use KOReader, of course, on this book. So, as you see here, I have KOReader on that, and I can do the same on Onyx Boox Palma, of course. I can run KOReader. Here we have KOReader. We can start that book, for example. So now we have KOReader running on all my devices, and it doesn't matter because on these Kobo e-readers it always is a better user experience when reading books, simple. But these devices are unnecessary if you want to use other apps than just reading ebooks, and also book streaming apps, as I said, Storytel, Bookbeat, Nextory. Or if you want to use Kindle app on an ebook reader, then you have to use an Android-based e-reader instead of a Kindle device. That just was an example. Or if you want to use Pocketbook Reader, another app that's great on Android-based e-reader, then you have to use Android-based e-readers. But Kobo e-reader, these will always have a better user experience and always will feel made for book reading and nothing else compared to these devices. I mean, you can go back to the home screen here and you see how many apps I have installed. Yes, you don't need to do that. You can just use KOReader, for example, and nothing else, and have the same user experience with that, and only use the device for KOReader. But once again, these devices are buggy. It doesn't matter if it's a Bigme or a Onyx Boox when it comes to buttons working in KOReader or the auto rotation feature on them and so on. And sometimes even the the auto light and stuff doesn't work so good in different apps and so on. So there is always some drawbacks using Android-based e-readers. But if you have to use a certain app, for example Storytel, then you need to use these devices. And I use all my devices quite much. I read about 50 books every year, so I read a lot of books. So by experience, I can always say that the user experience will always be better on a Kobo e-reader than on Android-based e-reader. And also the build quality and the weight of the devices are much heavier, and it's not as easy to hold these devices than on simple Kobo e-readers that doesn't weight anything really. It feels like you're holding a paper when holding this Kobo Clara 2e. And the same with this Kobo Libra H2O. It's an old device, but it's an excellent device running KOReader on. You have no problems whatsoever running KOReader on this device. So if you have a Kobo Libra H2O, then install KOReader on it. It's a real joy, a real pleasure reading on a Kobo Libra H2O. It's in KOReader, I mean, you have everything you have wanted in an e-reader when using KOReader on this old device. And everything works fast. You can turn pages really fast, as you see here. So fast. And I mean, you have the ghosting is no problem whatsoever running KOReader on this device. It's excellent. It works so good. I mean, you have no problems whatsoever with this old device. The battery life and everything is great. I mean, see here, you have a real, I haven't used it much now because for this video, but 11 minutes as you can see there, and I have consumed 1% of the battery, and I think that's great because the estimated reading time is 18 hours. And some user says in the comments, well, my device lasts for 40-50 hours. But that's not true, because that is not real reading time. KOReader's battery statistics shows how much you can read with the screen on, using the buttons or the display to go back and forward and so on. And when you have this device active on, then it shows the real percent of the battery. So if you go down here, you can see that you can have this running for 18 hours, exactly as I said there, but that is because I have started this now. I can, if you are using this, after a while it will say you can use this for 4 or 5 days or 6 days or so, and that is what you believe is the battery life. But the real battery life is up here. So the battery life on this old Kobo Libra H2O is better than on my Kobo Clara 2e and my Onyx Boox Palma or my Bigme B751c. Hard name to say. So the battery life on this old device is still the best battery life I have on all my devices. I have more devices, I have Kindle devices and so on. So this battery life is great. Still, even if it's old and everything works as good, the only drawback with this is storage space, because it only has 8 GB. But I have sold it because I can do wireless Caliber with Kobo installed on a Kobo e-reader. You can use Caliber on a computer with a wireless connection. So I have all my books show up on my Kobo Libra H2O, but they are not stored on my device itself. So I can just install that book I want to read on the Kobo Libra H2O, and when I have no space left, I can remove them because they are still available in Caliber. I can install that book when I need it. So the wireless connection to Calibre have solved the storage space on this old Kobo Libra H2O. If you have not much storage space left, that is not a problem with the Kobo Libra H2O, because on the Kobo Libra H2O I have a lot of storage space. I don't remember now, but at least 16 gigabyte, maybe 32, I don't remember actually. It's just numbers. When it comes to storage space on these Android-based ebook reader, that is not a problem at all, because they have so much storage space. 256 gigabyte of storage and an SD card slot. So I have a huge SD card in this with 512 gigabyte at the moment, and I can have up to 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte, I don't remember, but if I want. And the same on this one, I have a SD card slot there. I can use SD cards. So storage space on modern Android-based e-readers is no problem whatsoever. But once again, that is not a problem on an ebook reader from Kobo. The huge difference with these are the user experience when using a Kobo. It's so much better. Easier to hold in the hand, lighter, everything works smooth. You have no problem finding books. You have them what you want, and you can only read and nothing else. I think that's a huge plus for Kobo e-readers. But the huge minus with Kobo e-reader is that they don't have the availability to use other apps. On an Android-based e-reader, you can install any app you want from the Google Play Store. Any app you want. You can use any app you want actually on an Android-based e-reader. So you can install KOReader. You can install Bookbeat. By the way, KOReader you should not install from a Play Store or something. You should install it directly from the GitHub page, KOReader GitHub page. Nothing else. Bookbeat, Nextory, Storytel, Brave web browser, for example. I have them. And we have more apps here. We can install a Kindle app, as you see there. We can have Google Play Books, the original Neo browser that comes with the device to read books in if you want. And Moon Plus Reader, if you want to read books in that, for example. So that is Pocketbook Reader, if you want to read books in that. So that is the huge plus for Android-based e-readers, that you can install any app you want and read in that. I prefer using Storytel because I have an account there. So if I use Storytel, I can read books directly in Onyx Boox Palma here with the Storytel account. And as you see, it looks quite good, Storytel on this device, and works quite good without buttons. But you can't use the buttons on the side with the Storytel app. I have contacted support, but they don't do anything about it, sadly. I would like to see some support taking this serious and add support for turning pages with the volume buttons here. So I can use that on the Onyx Boox Palma and the Bigme buttons here to go back and forward in the book. So that is the huge plus for Android-based e-reader, is that you can use book streaming service like Storytel or Bookbeat or Nextory, or using the Kindle app with all your Kindle books or what you want. So that is what I want to say with this video. So it always is a real pleasure going back to a Kobo device when reading books. It feels so good every time because the user experience is so much better. Okay, bye.